Hey everybody, it's been a while since we've done one of these streams to put everything together. Thank you, Rooker Zero and Jordan, for joining. I really appreciate it. I love hanging out with you guys. I know I stopped into Rooker Zero's drawing stream yesterday. Was fantastic. I'm sad I haven't done it before. We'll definitely be tuning into more of those. Today we are going to do part 4 of the, I don't know, it's not really a review. I'm just going through old advanced Dungeons and Dragons stuff, finding cool things that I can port to 5th edition, and just throwing together everything that I find into a notes document. Then, after the stream is over, well after the stream is over, probably in the coming weeks, I'll be putting them together into actual 5th edition stat blocks. I've done a couple already. I don't know if any of you are on here, are in my Discord, but one of my favorite things about this whole process is once I have a first draft of the monster stat block, I'll go into my Discord and ping everyone with the playtester tag, and I will put together one-shots, which is combat only, to help me playtest my stuff. It's a great way for me to interact with the community. Every single playtest I've done so far has been excellent. It lets the viewer, give feedback to me about what you think about the monster, how to improve it, what to take away, what to change. And I've got one pretty much done already, the Miordi, from this publication actually. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. This lady. So she's essentially the closest thing in 5th edition they have to a Miordi is a mummy lord. She is a undead from an ancient civilization. Hey, Christian, it has been a while. I'm glad you're able to join. I always like your input when we go through this stuff. But anyway, the Miordi is from an ancient civilization, guarding a tomb or a sacred location or something like that. But their whole shtick is that they have a set of laws that they go over. They still enforce, like, to the death. And so their whole thing is they go up to the players, say, you are trespassing, or something super obscure like, how dare you wear a blue shirt in this sacred land? You must die. Die with honor. The cool thing is the Miordi will always, like, announce its presence first and say, hey, you should just let me kill you because that's the law, that's what should happen. But there's this, like, because they're taking a look at this ancient scroll or set of laws that they still enforce from a long dead civilization. I put a whole bunch of work into the 5th edition one, and it should be coming out pretty soon. I think I'll make this one for free because so many people helped create it, and I definitely want everyone that helped playtest it to actually be able to access the document in the end. So this one will not be behind a Patreon paywall. I'll just post this pretty much everywhere. Twitter, YouTube community tab, for free on my Patreon, which there's a link in the description. Tiers start at $1 for some video shoutouts, but we'll get more into that later. For now, we're going to look at what else from this book we should port over, because I know this is so what this book is, it's for the Dark Sun setting, which is this sort of deserty, post-apocalyptic setting, and most of the monsters in here and most of the things in Dark Sun have some crazy oh dear, Michael Gelfi Studios, why do you disappear on me like this. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, so most of the things in Dark Sun have psionic abilities, and I've run into a lot of problems with that because there is a whole set of psionic abilities and like how to run them in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That doesn't exist in 5e. So that's been the most difficult thing porting over. I've had some luck trying to just make their psionic abilities into spells and just reflavoring it that way. But yes, Dark Sun is very intense, very dark. The halfling race in Dark Sun are cannibals, which is nuts. We also took a look at, where was it? The Shadow Giant. Yeah, these things. So these things are like intelligent, very big. They're ghosts, essentially. And they are, I think they're deceased. Yes, Shadow Giants, or Shadow People, as they prefer to call themselves, are the descendants of halflings who served Rajat the Warbringer during so yeah, they used to be halflings. Giants that used to be halflings, just in general, is cool. They've got a lot of cool abilities. I haven't gone into actually fixing up this one for 5th edition yet. Just got a whole bunch of ideas down in this lovely, ridiculously long notes document that we've put together over the last several Dark Sun live streams. So let's get started with taking a look at the table of contents. And we've done 2 of the elementals, not the elementals, the para-elementals, which are like, sort of like the mephits in 5th edition, where it is 2 different elements put together. So the magma elemental is going to be fire and earth, obviously. The rain elemental would be water and air. The rain elemental, by the way, this thing, this one is completed. It's absolutely insane. Basically, it's just this water wheel that flies through the air. And I put it into 5th edition. The coolest thing it does is it does damage in 2 ways. First, obviously, it pelts you with like slam attacks like a normal elemental, but it also sucks out water from all of the surrounding sources, which includes blood if you get too close. So it has a constant damaging necrotic aura. And I put together a couple different sizes for them. Those are currently available on Patreon. Link in the description. Let's go with the sun elemental. I have no idea what that even is going to look like. Because, you know, when you think sun, you think like angels or giant balls of fire. Or at least that's what I think of. Let's see. Well, it does at first look like a giant ball of fire. 2-headed phoenix sort of thing. I believe we did actually take a look at this one, now that I'm thinking about it. It can't hurt to take another glance. So, very rare, solitary creatures like the rest of the elementals. Semi-intelligent, so, like, not intelligent enough, not quite intelligent enough for language, I believe. Let's see. Apparently, hit dice is a good translation for challenge rating, so this would be a CR 9 creature. It is only large, but has a 16-foot wingspan. I like that detail, because a lot of birds, like the rock in 5th edition, I like to think that they are much larger than just the 4 squares, just because that's how flight works. Opal and Jordan have been working with para-elementals recently. This is, yeah, this is serendipitous. I love it. Yeah, para-elementals are cool, and the only way they exist in 5th edition is in mephits, which are also pretty cool, but there is a lot of space for, other content creators to work around. I don't really want... They're not going to be putting out many more publications before the second Player's Handbook comes out. But I don't want Wizards of the Coast to go through Para Elementals just because I'm having so much fun looking at them and creating them on my own. Let's see what this thing can actually do, though. Zoom in a bit so you can read it as well. Para-elemental beasts of sun attack by swooping down on their opponents and attacking them with their 2 talons for 2d6 points of damage. We're kind of ignoring numbers in general when we're going over this, just because there's a huge difference between the different editions for exactly how devastating is 2d6 damage. That changes a lot from edition to edition. So we're just kind of ignoring that, and we're basing our difficulty, I guess, on the hit dice, using that hit die 9 as a challenge rating for it. Immediately ignites flammable objects. That's, makes sense. Giant 2-headed firebird. Let's see. They can generate intense heat from their bodies. This is a lot more fire than I expected. I expected some radiant stuff. I don't know if that is a thing in AD&D. Like I said, I've never actually played this edition. I just like looking through the books. I do like this. I remember this from last time we looked over this. The para-elemental beast of sun regenerates in sunlight. I really enjoyed that. Let me see if the notes I had... Oh, yeah. Everything I had was literally the most recent one I did. So it's got a flyby attack. It's got a couple bite and claw attacks, maybe fire or radiant damage. Damaging aura. Ooh, dehydration. I know that was a big thing I know dehydration was a big thing in Dark Sun because, it's a desert. And in case you're not familiar, the lovely music we are listening to today, as always, is from Michael Gelfi Studios. All of their stuff is free. They're not a sponsor, but I work with them. Make sure that I can use their music for whatever I want. Michael himself is super chill about all that stuff. Their library is, I think, the most expansive. They have over 1,700 different ambiences, and that doesn't include the music that they also do. Let's see. Esper the Bard's creations that combine elemental and undead. Ooh. I'm gonna have to write that down. I haven't had the pleasure of talking with Esper the Bard, but I am familiar with his channel. Yeah, I don't know if that would work in my world, as far as... Because my world in Necromancy, how it works is just... it's essentially soul magic. All Necromancy spells have to do with manipulating a soul or bolstering a soul with additional energy. So in my world, undead are just bodies that have arcane energy in them in place of a soul, and that's Necromancy. Video about them, they're from his book. Alright, I'll have to check out the video at the very least. And if I like them, send some patronage his way. Let's see. So yeah, these things are really cool. I don't know. I don't think they go over anything about the 2 heads, except for maybe 2 bite attacks. But sun elementals in general look pretty awesome. I think we will move on. I don't know. what the next thing is. I just like going over random... What the heck? Random stuff like this. This chameleon bird. Let's see. Very rare, also solitary. How big is it? 18 inches tall. Oh, I thought it was going to be feet. So it is a tiny creature. Okay. Feet and wings. Pretty cool. Let's see. Intelligence, C below. What? Okay. Hit dice 3. So we're looking at a CR3 creature. That is tiny. Interesting. A Psionicus is what this is called, and it is a creature created by powerful psionicists to use as a familiar and a scout. Interesting. They resemble small winged lizards. Their wings are bat-like. Well, we can see what they look like. Their small feet are razor-sharp claws that can be deadly in combat. They also have pointed teeth they use to inject poison. They avoid combat with more than one creature at a time. If it must fight, it uses bite to inject poison and makes diving attacks, as most, familiars would. If possible, it descends and attacks with a bite, injects the poison, puts them into a deep, fitful sleep. I like that. I don't know how I feel about this character. We haven't gone through everything yet, but I don't know how I feel about this character as a whole, but I do like the idea of a poison that puts you to sleep, like the drow poison in 5th edition, but also makes it a fitful sleep, gives you bad dreams, like a really, really bad trip. Let's see. Drains psionic energy away from them. Could turn that into magical draining. That'd be terrifying. Mini Jabberwock. Yeah, I mean, he could be. He looks almost... Definitely weird enough. Definitely weird enough. I do like his poison. I like his look. I haven't found anything else too interesting yet, in my opinion. I do like the idea of a new familiar, though. So, a little bit of a tangent. The gazers in 5th edition, I think they appear in the monster manual, or Volos. I don't remember. Anyway, where they appear, there is a little block of text that says how to use a gazer as a familiar. And a gazer, if you don't already know, is a tiny beholder with 4 eye stalks and low intelligence. So you could have a tiny beholder following you around, or I'm going to have at some point an NPC that has a gazer following him around, and they just argue all the time. And the gazer just randomly attacks people, and it's a problem in every tavern that this wizard visits or something. Just that as an idea. I think this could be a very similar vibe. Just a creature that attacks things at random and looks strange and terrifying to, if this walked in with a person into a tavern, there would be a reaction. Familiars tend to do that. I like role-playing through, if the familiar's cute, you find some kids that like to play around with it. If the familiar's terrifying, the adults, the kids want to play, but the adults take them away, and just leave. And seeing how the players react to the NPC's reaction to their familiars is really fun to play around with. There's a lot of roleplay and story potential there. But as far as this Psionicus in particular, more chameleon aesthetic, well, we could give him some chameleon abilities as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep this one in. So Psionicus. Flying Chameleon Familiar. If he feeds on psionic energy, then maybe it could affect sleep, as it feeds on their thoughts and gives input to them while they aren't awake. Sort of like the actual dream spell. A 6th level spell, Dream, lets you invade people's dreams while they sleep. I like that as well. It would make the poison specific to this thing, which could be fun. And wouldn't be able to be harvested to as much ability as possible, because that's a problem with familiars. I find it is fun if the players don't abuse it, but like if you got a pseudo dragon familiar, they have a poisonous tail, you can just constantly harvest the poison from your familiar's tail, just over and over and over again to collect as much of it as possible. And the DC actually goes up with some cool warlock stuff. It gets complicated and a little bit broken, especially if you get multiple doses and you have it applied on every arrow on the rogue or something. So I like the idea of a familiar that does poison, but it can't be harvested. It is creative thinking on the player's part, but I like it if it's done a few times, but I don't like it if it's done constantly to the point of like we're doing it because this is the optimal thing to do, and it just starts, you know, unbalancing the game a little bit. Whoever uses the poison is going to be stronger than anyone who doesn't use it. Let's see. They are psychic constructs. Only psionicists of at least 8th level with certain abilities and a gem worth 2,000 gold becomes its brain. So its brain is literally a pretty rock. It's got a pretty rock inside its head that powers it. A lot of blood, 6 weeks of effort to make it. After it's complete, it is mentally linked to its creator. So you have to actually create this in order to have it be your familiar. I like that. Poison that puts you to sleep and gives you nightmares. Not the horse, because that would be ridiculous. Its creator sees and hears everything it experiences. Oh, just all the time, instead of having to switch back and forth between your senses and its senses. Okay. Constant sense sharing. If the link is severed, okay, can control if it's within 400 yards, which is almost a mile, right? No. A mile is a little over 5,000 feet. Okay, yeah, that's not a mile. I did the math wrong. 400 yards, 4 football fields. American football fields. I don't know how long a football soccer field is. If the link is severed, the psionicist enters a comatose state and may be easily destroyed. It is a reflection of its master's temperament and personality. Okay, so the idea where they fight all the time would not work because they are, you know, the same person, basically. It has the same intelligence as its creator and reflects his mannerisms and quirks. It is, however, a separate entity. It cannot be taken over by another psionicist. That's cool. It is as intelligent as its creator. That's a big deal. Okay, this is going beyond what I would actually allow in a 5th edition game. Because if it has, say you're a wizard or a psionicist, your big stat is intelligence, so you've maxed it out at 20, and you create a familiar that also has an intelligence score of 20. That's nuts. That thing is going to... one thing I like to do with creatures is make them act like their intelligence score should indicate. So animals, self-preservation, can't talk. They act like animals in real life. A lich with super, super high intelligence is going to be able to predict the party's every move, is going to have done the research, is going to know what the party can do. That's why they're so hard to fight, because you can't outthink them. If this thing, this tiny little bugger, has an intelligence score of 20, you can bet it's going to look for more power for self-preservation. If it is the same person as its master, and the master is nice, they will want to help each other. If it's the same person as its master, and its master is mean, they might still want to fight. Like, it could be very interesting from a character perspective. Like, if you had to confront yourself, would you be friends with them? If the master, hates themselves, then the psionosi, I don't know, this psychic familiar, is also going to be, it's going to hate his creator and is going to look for power to overtake him, find a way to sever the connection permanently, and live its own life. I think that would be really fun to explore from a story perspective, especially if it was like a campaign where it's only one player, which, if you haven't done that, a lot of work for the DM, very rewarding. It's a lot of fun to just play D&D one-on-one for a whole campaign. But yeah, this thing is could be a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to be difficult to translate into 5th edition because it takes so much to create. 2,000 gold pieces, 6 weeks of work, a pint of blood, certain psionic skill sets, which don't exist in 5th edition. So, sorry, I don't know. Me and everyone that I have been watching pretty much have been down with the weather, even though it's starting to warm up here in Minnesota. A little bit. Warm by our standards is 30 degrees, still freezing. But yeah, I think this one, it's worth a shot to try to port it over. I won't do it on this stream. This is just for collecting ideas. But I do think this Psionicus is could be very cool as a familiar of a psychic or spellcasting big bad. Or just normal NPC ally. I do like NPCs, villains that have familiars, and the familiars interact with the party more than the actual villain does. A lot of storytelling potential. So, moving on from that, let's go back up to the table of contents, see what else we've got. So, there's a lot of horrors in this thing, but most of it is things that I don't recognize at all, like a crag or cragling, a leer, mastriol, miordi. Well, I know that one because I spent hours and hours working on it. But I don't know what a mole is. I don't know what nikal is, or pakubrazi. A lot of these just sound like made-up words, which they kind of are. If you see one that you think, sounds cool, a racked spirit, obsidian retriever, let me know what you want to go over. A brain seed. I looked at scorpions. They're just normal scorpions. They're just giant scorpions. They don't have anything that special. These silt horrors we did go over recently, and they are terrifying. They remind me of the Oberith demons. Just these Lovecraftian terrors that make no sense. Looking at them, it does psychic damage, stuff like that. Stalking horror was also very, very big and very, very scary. Similar to, I guess the closest thing to it in 5th edition would be the Starspawn Emissary, the giant flesh, eyes, and teeth, just ball that floats along and causes destruction and madness. It's fun. I looked through the Thrycreen and the Torcreen as well. I was super excited for the Torcreen. Found out that they're just slightly different races of Thrycreen. I was kind of disappointed. Let's do this. What is a Zerishu? What the heck is that? Oh my god, that's terrifying. What? What is that? Ugh. Zerishu. Any dry land, uncommon, day, omnivore, average intelligence, language, society. Let's see, a CR of 3, doesn't look like it. Honestly, this thing looks like the art makes it look huge. Let's see, and some psychic abilities. I don't remember what all of these mean. So I'm going to, real quick, pull up a, let's see. I might actually have one somewhere already. Trying to find a document that actually tells me what all of these psychic words mean, like what each of these abilities is, because in the monster manual it just says a single line and it expects you to be able to look up or know what the ability is. Let's see. Is this it? No, this is just another copy. Huh. Might have been the internet I was looking at. AD&D psionic abilities? Should have definitely done this beforehand, but I did not because I don't think ahead like I should. No, that's all class stuff. Well, we will have to just guess based on the names. I kind of think that's more fun anyway, instead of taking a look at the official content. Let's see. So this thing is psychometabolic. So I assume things it does in its own body. Complete healing. So regeneration. We're definitely doing this one, by the way, just based on that art. Zerishu. regeneration. What else does it have? Complete healing, devotions for psychometabolic, body control, body weaponry. Maybe can cast alter self at will, or maybe a more powerful version of alter self, because I feel like I want to imagine that this thing, like, it doesn't always have all these horns and teeth and claws. I want to imagine that it grew those as a reaction to being threatened. And it's not animalistic. It is intelligent enough to, you know, probably has psychic contact, telepathy, speaking ability. Yeah, here, telepathy. All this telepathy stuff. Mind link, contact, mind thrust, so force push, psychic crush, stuff like that. So it's smart, but it, in reaction to being threatened, it will grow horns and teeth and claws along its entire body. I kind of like that. It looks ugly. It's hairy and has sores all over it. I don't know if you can see those. It also has wings that it can fly. Zerashus are flying, vicious predators. They begin their life as relatively small, armored, worm-like creatures. After their metamorphosis, Zerashus become flying, six-legged predators. Deep brown to red-brown, leathery hide, sparse tufts of hair. They flock together. Loud shrieking caws when attacking potential prey. Combat, flocking together, survival in numbers. Let's see. Sharp wings. Ooh. I like that. Razor-like edged wings. So they'll have a bite attack, a claw attack, and a slashing damage wing attack. I like this so far. They also use their numerous psionic abilities to confuse their prey. They also can teleport, just casually, you know, as you do. Displacement and time shift to change their location and disorient victims. Okay. It says confuse their prey. My first thought is the confusion spell. I don't usually like using that because I'm a big fan of looking through and making sure that everything I'm using is simple and easy to follow. So I don't like confusion because it adds a lot of random ability, extra rolls. But I like the ability of just being able to teleport and displace. I'm thinking Displacer Beast or a Misty Step reaction to being hit, maybe? If you got any other suggestions for how we can transport this line specifically, confuse their prey, teleport, displacement, and time shift to change their location and disorient victims. That's what we're trying to. Looking for existing things in 5th edition to slap onto this first draft of a stat block. Reaction to being hit, Misty Step. Or just teleport 10 feet. I don't want it to be the full 30 feet that Misty Step allows. That would be a bit much. When one of the creatures begins this behavior, everyone else follows suit. During the first 3 rounds, okay, it goes into exactly what they do. With numbers and counting rounds and actually changing tactics per round. I like to do everything on the fly. I I'm usually not keeping track of which round we are on. I usually forget to in the first place. If it falls below 10% of its max HP, it teleports back to its lair if it has enough strength left. Or disengages and flies back. So, you know, it's smart. Self-preservation. It's not going to fight you to the death. It's going to fight you till you die. And if it gets close, it's going to run. Let's see. I like these little details about the habitat and society. When a larvae is half a year old, it climbs on a high precipice and hooks its legs into the surface, then begins the long process of cocooning itself. Da, 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 da. So, like, it would be a cool, I don't know, lore roll of some sort, a nature check, to see why that cliffside is covered in these cocoons. Like, what is that? But other than that, this is just details that most players aren't going to find interesting. So I kind of tend to skip over habitat and society. I'm more interested in combat, so I can make this stat block. And here in ecology, it's also talking about larval forms again. Yeah, so I think this is good. So it's got the claws, teeth, and sharp wings coupled with psionic abilities. So I'm thinking maybe they do flock together. So I'm thinking more of like a cranium rat sort of situation, where a single cranium rat, which is like rats that have been exposed and experimented on by mind flayers and have psychic abilities, one of them by itself, not a threat. A group of them, like a pack of cranium rats, a swarm, I mean, it has a CR of 5. It can cast Hold Monster. And I think that's sort of what I want this to be able to do as well. I don't want it to be a swarm, because these are they are small creatures, and you need to be tiny in order to be in a swarm in 5th edition. So instead, let's use something that is vastly underused, and that is the Hag Coven ability, where if a group of them is together, they have access to higher level spell slots, or in this case, spell slots, period. So if 3 are together, they can cast Hold Person once. If, I don't know, 10 are together. Let's say, actually, if all 3 use their action to do it, they can cast Hold Person once. Three of them can use their action to cast Hold Person together. And I like the idea of Hold Monster, because they're going to be in a very monster-filled area. So let's say if 5 of them, 6 of them are together, they can do Hold Monster. Let's make it 6. Once per day on both of these. Hey Greg, nice to see you coming in. Very excited for the party tonight. I am bringing 5 bottles of mulled wine. I'm very excited. I hope all the rest of you are going to have a very happy and safe New Year. and best wishes to everyone for 2023. I will be drinking some mulled wine of my own creation and sharing it with a large group of friends that my dear friend Greg here has so graciously offered to put together. 6 people, 6 of these things, cast Hold Monster once per day. Okay, I think we're pretty much done here. Because we got through all of its... Maybe this force... I don't want it to be too complicated. I like the 3 different attacks. 3 different attack options, I should say. Maybe a flyby? Put a question mark next to that. I don't know if that'll make it too strong. Reaction to being hit, teleport 10 feet. And since it is flying, it can teleport 10 feet upwards. So avoiding multi-attacks from the players is very easy for this thing. But yeah, I think the Zershu is ready to be turned into an actual stat block. So we will stop that here and move on to... I don't know. How about this thing? Oh, no, I remember this thing. It was just a normal monster. Thanks, Greg. The music is, you can see in the bottom left, is our music for today. It is from Michael Gelfi Studios, which has a huge library, all free, all on YouTube. Go check them out when this is done. I might send a link to some of my favorite music by them when the stream is over, if I can't find any other D&D creators that are online at the time. What about the Claw? Ooh, yikes. Dire Bear, anyone? This thing looks fancy. Maybe has multiple rows of teeth, sort of like a dinosaur-esque back. This is terrifying. Probably not psychic, but we shall see. Oh god. Oh god, it is psychic. All of this stuff is psychic. It is a psychic dire bear. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, lives in the mountains, rare frequency, organization family, so normal bear stuff. Let's see, nocturnal carnivore, low intelligence, so smart enough to do psychic abilities, but, oh, that's right. We did the honey heist where you were all bears and crashed the stock market and destroyed the world so you could get your honey. Great stream. It's on my channel. Go watch it. A intelligence score of 5 to 7, which is not enough for a language, or it might be. I know you have to, in order... it probably is smart enough to talk. Special attacks. Crushing hug. Aww. Is so sweet and soft and cuddly and Lovecraftian. Michael has given me permission to use this stuff on use his music and ambiences on streams. I do it through Spotify because he gets a little bit more money that way versus watching it on YouTube. I don't have a written agreement with him, but I do have, I guess you could call it a written agreement. I have it in permission from him in text to use his music for this and for all of the streaming stuff. I mean, the stuff he puts out is all free. It's all available. The copyright language he has on his website is very loose, very chill, and it's indicative of how relaxed he is with his content. It's fantastic. Love the guy. Love the stuff he does. Morale, elite. So this thing ain't running away. Let's see. Hit dice. 11 plus 2. So this thing is... Yeah, it's a 9-foot tall bear with psychic abilities. So its CR is going to be somewhere between 11 and 13. Oh, if you'd like, Jordan, I can send you a link to his Discord where he's super active. I don't think he'll have any problem with you using his stuff for streams and actual plays and whatnot. He literally designs it. He told me his stuff is designed to be used for tabletop games. So, and it is free to use. So you can use it for your stuff whenever you want, especially if it is D&D related. That is his target audience. So I'm just doing some free advertising for him. I mean, I have no problem with it. Let's see. What exactly can the Clar do? We're definitely writing this one down. Car. C-L-A-R. Psychic Dire Bear. Okay, telekinesis. So it can move things with its mind. I don't know if that means the telekinesis spell. We're gonna assume it doesn't. We could make it telekinesis. What sort of thing does telekinesis but isn't actually telekinesis? Maybe catapult? Catapult slash telekinesis. Let's see what else. Ballistic attack. That sounds more like catapult. Control body, control sound. Control sound. That's fun. Thunder wave. The silence spell. A silence aura like a dark mantle. That's... Oh, that's terrifying. It's just an aura of silence. So the thing that indicates that it's about to attack is you go deaf. Oh, that's so scary. I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm getting chills. Catapult. Telekinesis. Silence aura. It wouldn't be constant, because it needs to be able to live, and it needs to be able to hear things itself. So, silence aura... 10 minutes. $10 minutes once per day? Sure. We'll go with that for now. That is just horrifying. Absolute silence, but this thing is huge and should be making a bunch of noise. Interior barrier. I have no idea. That is one I actually do want to look up quick. Interior barrier. D&D psionic abilities. Oh, that's from 3.5. Well, what does it do in 3.5? Oh, Hugo wants to go out. He wanted to come in to see what I was doing, and now he wants to go out. And in 2 minutes, he'll want to come back in. I'm sure of it. Let's see. You create a skin-tight barrier around yourself that resists blows, cuts. Ooh, okay, so... Got it. That's cool. So it's basically mage armor. Increase to AC, I think, would be better for this. So sort of psychic AC, or ooh, maybe it can cast shield. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, I feel bad for doing this and throwing this at someone. Ooh, okay, this, I'm getting excited about this thing. This is definitely one that I'm going to play test. So if you want to be in that game, there's a link in the description of this live stream that goes to my Discord. If you go there and pick up the playtester tag, you'll be able to see when I'm going to be running a one-shot for this, and it is free to join. You can hop in, grab a seat whenever, if you can. We'll work through it when it actually gets posted, see who gets there first. Do we have enough people? We've struggled with that in the past, but this, ooh, I'm getting excited about this. I really want to throw this at a party a few times. Okay. Shield. A psionic shield of sorts. Shield spell. Okay. Telepathic. Domination? What? This is turning into a CR20 thing. What is this? This is a legendary creature right here. And it reproduces? It lives in a family? Oh god. Sorry not sorry to whoever ends up being a playtester for this. Very scary bear. Okay. Ooh. Let's not give it telepathy. Let's make it actually, like, terrifying. So it is extremely... Make it territorial. We haven't even looked at the actual... we haven't even looked at what it's actually saying. We're just going through its psychic abilities. This is fun. I forgot how much fun this was. Oh, I gotta do this more often. Okay, contact life detection. Interesting. Maybe get a detect thoughts. Can sense people's location. The art gives you vibes of Map Crow's version of the owlbear that is more a mythical creature with a beehive on its back. Yeah, it does. Oh, you're right. That's cool. I'll have to check that out. Map Crow. You always have the best suggestions for who else, what other content creators to check out, Jordan. All right, let's see. Domination. I don't want to give it this. This is just too much. I don't want it to be able to cast Dominate Person. That's... It also doesn't really fit with its vibe. Map Crow on YouTube. Okay. I'll check them out. I don't want the Klar to be able to dominate person. It doesn't fit with its terrifying, like, attack you, like, kill you, get out of my territory vibe that we're going for. Because dominate person is like force you to do something. It's an enchantment spell. This thing feels like all of its psychic abilities should be vicious and violent. Contact, life detection, or hunting stuff. So the this creature does live up to the hype. This is nuts. I want to fight it. I want to run it. I'm getting hype about this. Ego whip, inflict pain. Sort of like Tasha's mind whip. I feel like Tasha's mind whip is a very intelligence-based thing, and this is not a particularly intelligent creature. let's pull up Tasha's Mind Whip real quick on the DD Beyond. Because I know it's good, but I haven't done... It's one of the few spells that I don't have memorized. Alright. Tasha's Mind Whip. You... Oh, you guys can't quite see that. There we go. 90 feet, second level spell. Something must make an intelligence saving throw. I don't think this thing should be able to force people to make intelligence saves. We'll have to homebrew something, some other rule into it. Maybe Tasha's Mind Whip exactly, except it's a wisdom save and does other stuff. I'll also take a look at power word pain, see if we can turn that down a little bit. Mental ranged attack. Or it could be just a base attack. That's like... one of its things is it forces you to make a... I don't know, probably wisdom saving throw. Maybe do it a fear effect, and if you fail, you take psychic damage. But it only lasts a round. That might be a bit much. Stacked on top of its catapult, silence, aura, shield spell, detect thoughts. This is gonna be crazy. Mental ranged damaging attack. It needs some ranged attacks, that's for sure. Invisible foes. Okay, one problem I have with this publication is that it has a lot of typos. This is not the first time. It's spelled scorpions with an A before. This, I don't know if this is supposed to be invisible foes or invincible foes. We will real quick see if this is actually a word. Invisible. Nope. Nope. It's all did you mean. Invisible foes. No. I don't know if it's invisible foes or invincible foes. I'm gonna guess invisible foes, because making foes invincible is not helpful. Non-intelligent psychic creature. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this thing. This is why I'm doing this stuff. Like, there are several gems buried in this book. I think the Claw Bear, Psychic Dire Bear, is one of them. Invisible foes. What's the spell? Enemies abound? That's a spell, right? Yes, it is a spell. And it appears in Xanathars. And it's another one that I don't know off the top of my head. So you reach into the mind of one creature you can see and force it to make another intelligence saving throw. Maybe... See, I like the fact that 5th edition is introducing intelligence saving throws into spells, so it's not just all Constitution, Dex, and Wisdom. I mean, it's not Fortitude, Will, and Reflex like in all the other editions. It is specifically a saving throw for every single ability, and I'm glad that they're using it. But in this case, I don't want it to be intelligence. I want it to be something else. For this spell specifically, enemies abound, and intelligence makes sense. I mean, it makes you not be able to distinguish friend from foe. I think this would be more of an effect that makes you sort of able to not distinguish enemy from friend from foe, but instead makes you think that there's more than there are. So sort of like a mirror image, but with a fear effect. We'll just put exactly those words down and see what comes up when I review this again later. Make you think that not only is there one psychic dire bear about to rip you apart, but there are 5. A spell that flies below the radar. Yes, enemies abound. It is cool. I mean, my favorite thing, most of my favorite spells are not well known, and that's what makes them good, is just the fact that they're new to me, that I have not seen them before, that nobody else uses them. Like Shape Water. Brilliant cantrip. Never seen it used. I think Enemies Abound definitely falls into that category as well. Let's see. After this is Mind Thrust, Psionic Inflation, and Psychic Crush. So we turned that into Hold Person from earlier, but I think Hold Person on this thing might be a bit much. Like, imagine being paralyzed while a bear that stands at 9 feet tall at the shoulder lays into you with several rows of teeth and claws that are bigger than your forearm. You're not going to survive that. And with being paralyzed from a Hold Person, those would all be auto crits. So I think I'm just going to straight up ignore those. I mean, we already have so much. It can cast either Catapult or Telekinesis. Haven't figured that out yet. It has a Silence aura. It can... let's go with, next up is the Psychometabolic. So things that it does inside its own body. Cause sleep. Maybe not inside its own body or inside someone else's, but I like the idea that a bear can cast sleep, right? Hibernating, anyone? I don't know. Maybe for fun we could just give it Catnap. And Photosynthesis. Is this part plant? What? Maybe that's what the stuff on its back is. We're going to have to read the actual description before moving on to cause sleep and photosynthesis. So, bear sleep, 100%. The claw looks much like a large Kodiak bear with a head that seems a little too large for the body. Its back is covered with chitinous plate. It has thick stump of a tail that aids in its balance when it stands erect. The claw is large, towering over most Athasian fauna when standing fully tall. Its thick, sandy-colored fur grows as much as 6 inches long. The claw moves about on all 4 massive paws. Its long arms reach the ground while it is standing tall. Wow, that's quite long. They communicate with each other through loud growls, though they use their psionics when they wish to be silent or contact each other over great distances. Cool. So no language, but telepathy for a mile. I don't know if that goes against any 5th edition character making or monster making rules, but too bad if it does. I like it. They have never attempted to speak with humans or demi-humans, assuming them to be too stupid to understand a claw. That changes things. We might change that in what we're creating, because we've created like a vicious beast that has some intelligence. I don't know why they put that in there, just from a creative perspective. If it can talk to people, but doesn't ever do so, why? I mean, when is that ever going to come up in an actual game? When is that going to make a difference? Maybe communicating over large distances so that it can call allies to come help it could cause a problem. Ooh, I like that. Never mind. So someone goes into a Klar's lair, right? Party kills it, starts taking its loot. They're hanging out there for a while, and 2 more come to the entrance, arriving at this Klar's call for help. And they just trap the party in there, and that is a TPK situation right there. The few who have bothered to investigate the town of Saltview are beginning to change their views about humans and their kind. Several scientists have contacted Klar and were able to communicate before being ripped to shreds. Okay, so they can communicate. We're gonna change that. So Klar language, 1 mile telepathy, but extremely violent. All communication has ended in death of the other party. Let's take a look at its combat. The Klar readily uses its psionics in battle, preferring to scare opponents by employing invincible foes or Eagle Whip. Alright, so fear effect. I'm definitely going to do... I'm just going to bold that real quick. In melee, it buffets and slashes with its 2 paws. 2 successful hits in 1 round means it is caught in a hug, crushing its victim. There is definitely a not prerequisite. What's the word I'm looking for? It exists in 5th edition already. There's a word for that, and I'm losing it. But there is definitely a situation, like I think a Shambling Mound, if you get hit by both of its multi-attacks, then you get enveloped into it. Precedent. Yes, thank you both. That's the one I'm looking for. There is precedent for this. 2 successful hits, meaning get caught in a powerful hug. So let's pull up. Well, we don't have to pull it up. I will do that when I actually put together the stat block, which is kind of the boring part, to be honest. I won't make you guys sit here and watch me type and him and haw over details and numbers. But multi-attack if both hit, grappled. And then crushing hug. Next turn? I know in the stats here it says that the crushing hug automatically hits no matter what. I don't know if I want that to be the case. We'll see when I balance it, but I will keep that option when I'm putting it together. A victim that makes a successful strength roll only receives half damage. Fond of playing with its food. Ha 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 ha. I like it. A Clar that is losing its battle maintains its hold until it or the victim is dead. Can attempt to break free. Da, 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 da. If it's in its lair, it's likely to have 1 to 2 young present, but never more young than adults. So 1 kid at a time per adult. Okay. Took me a second to put that together. These young have 3 to 8 hit dice. That's a lot. Oh, so it's giving us the stat block for the young right here. So the young have all the same abilities, but have fewer hit points and do less damage. Oh no, it says they do not possess enough potential to use their abilities in combat. Okay, so I think when I put this out, there will be 2 stat blocks. 1 for the Clar and 1 for its young. So we'll have half damage, half HP, no extra abilities. So the young can still crush. They're still large. Not large enough to grab and, crush people. But they don't have enough. I mean, they won't be able to hold person or telekinesis or cast shield or do the silence aura thing. Let's see. Clar's AC is a result of long twisting hair and the chitinous plating. Some protection also comes from experience in combat. Okay. I really like this thing. I'm going to have a good time putting this together next year in 2023, which is in about 10 hours. Cool. We'll take a quick break. I need to step away for a moment, clear my head, get some water, stretch, posture check, all that good stuff. So I will throw on a be right back, and I hope to... Hey, unimportant hero. We're just taking a break, so your timing is impeccable. About to hop on break, be back in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I've been talking for... How long has it been? We've been on for an hour and a half already, so we'll take a break, and we will see you all when we come back. And we're back. Thought my camera was broken for a second. Forgot I put a thing over it. Okay, so we are done with the Klar. We are going to move on to something else. What is above the Klar? Gross. Not necessarily gross, but it just seems like a small chibi vulture. Mix between a vulture and a toucan. I'm not excited. It looks very boring. But we'll give it a chance at least. Animalistic intelligence, carnivore, travels in flocks. This thing is Kestrekel. It is small, only a foot tall. Let's see. Dark Sun Fruit Loops. It does look like the Fruit Loops mascot dude, doesn't it? It's very clear where the name came from too, Kestrel. I wonder if there's actual mascots in D&D. I mean, there are in Strixhaven, obviously, but I don't think they exist anywhere else. I just like the idea of, you know, a marketing mascot. But I doubt that's what's happening here. Vile avian creatures that feast upon desert carrion. So they're vultures. They're just vultures. Weak and cowardly in small groups, so they're small vultures. Usually D&D makes things bigger and scarier. In this case, makes them smaller. Let's see. Extremely vulnerable on ground. Obviously it flies because it's a bird. I don't think I'm going to put this in. Combat alone, more nuisance than threat. Claws are made for rending rotting flesh than rotting fresh meat. In groups, they're more fearsome. So it's literally you can flavor this and just say swarm of ravens. Done. The end. And this one is, I just feel uninspired, especially after doing this thing, the Klar, the psychic dire bear. A small vulture just seems boring, to say the least. Kestrel and Heckle. Yeah, I could see it. Kestrekel. Let's see if they actually heckle. Insects, yeah. So heckling, but not with voices, just in being pests and annoying nuisances. It's very true. All they can do is heckle the party until there's hundreds of them. Yeah, I think we're going to skip this one. Instead, we're going to go to this thing, the Crodlu. Real quick, the Cylops we already did. This thing was cool. So basically, it's a giant centipede. Let's see, how long was it? 15 feet long. A giant centipede that is basically excellent tracker. I haven't made the stat blocks for this yet, but I did go through everything in here. It was fun. It's specifically used for tracking things, except it's super long. People can breed them and, you know, use them to actually track down escaped slaves, because that's the kind of thing that Dark Sun is all about. Single eye, you know, detect thoughts, locate creature, all that sort of stuff. And it's big, so that's always fun. Just giant insects are always terrifying. But this thing is the one we actually clicked on this time. Looks like a mix between an ostrich and a dinosaur. Let's see what it can do. No psychic stuff, so no wild hold person abilities or anything like that. Looks like they've got two here, the Crodlu and the Heavy Crodlu. animals, herbivores, travel in herds. Special attacks, the small one has a grapple, the big one has a ram. 10 feet tall. Okay, so they're very big. So I'm imagining like a large ostrich. 10 feet tall or 12 feet tall. Hey Fred, how's it going? These are 10 foot tall, 12 foot tall ostrich dinosaur things. I don't think I'll be porting these over to 5th edition, but they are cool looking. I've heard that, and starting to learn, that a lot of the monsters in AD&D feel uninspired because they started just slapping 2 monsters together and calling it good. This one is a ostrich dinosaur. Earlier, what was it? The Psionicus is a bat chameleon. I mean, it just feels like they are not putting in as much effort as they could be. Let's give it a chance, though. See what the description says. Crodlu are large reptiles that roam the deserts and scrub lands in herds. They resemble large ostriches, but their forearms end in wicked claws, and their tough yellow scaled hides are yellow to red, with other colors along their sides and belly. They have poor eyesight and excellent sense of smell. They can run at high speed for long periods of time. This feels like it should just exist in our world. And look how small the combat section is. They attack with their hind legs, their forearms, and bite. If both forearms hit, it grapples the opponent, allowing an automatic bite that causes double... Where do I go? Did it just delete from there? Causes double what? I'm going to assume double damage. Yes, I have been looking through that, Fred. Looking at, re-downloading some of this stuff because I'm not recording it. I'm just streaming it. So I'll just rip it back off of YouTube and edit it down into another video. But I don't know. I do have a lot of stuff in the pipeline right now. But if I ever do need content, this is probably one of the places I'll go first, is this, just rediscovering this wild stuff, like a reaction video to old D&D publications. A herd is 30 members. A herd leader is made with 6 hit dice, 1 egg a year. I don't think I'll put this in. It doesn't feel interesting enough. I wouldn't enjoy actually putting together a stat block for it. So we're going to move on to... Let's do some of the evil trees. D&D had a big problem. I don't know. Not a problem in most cases. There's a lot of evil plants. And they just look like evil trees. And I think this would fall into that category. This is called bloodgrass, and it is a carnivore, obviously. It's a plant, not intelligent. Number appearing, 1 clump. Hit dice, 1 hit point per tendril. So, very few. It is literally grass. It is just blood-sucking grass. What is it? What exactly does it do other than that, though? Is this going to give us any other indication than, if you touch it, it sucks your blood? It has longer tendrils than normal grass, but only careful inspection reveals its presence. It attacks anything that steps on it by wrapping 1 or more tendrils around the victim and sucking its blood. Okay. This feels like it would be turned more into a... not an encounter. This would not be an encounter. This would be... this would be sort of a... what What am I looking for? Difficult terrain with a twist. So, yes, you move slowly through it because it keeps trying to grapple you, but also it's sort of like spike growth. Spike growth, the spell. Literally, spike growth, the spell, is what this should be. Because spike growth says, the ground in a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range twists and sprouts hard spikes and thorns. The area becomes difficult terrain, and when a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. Which is crazy. A lot of nutty combos you can do with this spell. But I feel like that is exactly what this is doing. It would just be difficult terrain instead of having people make a saving throw every time they step on every clump. And yeah, the hazard tree. This is, yeah, this would be difficult terrain. We can throw that together real quick. Let's see. Blood grass. Difficult terrain. What kind of damage should it do? I'm thinking necrotic damage just because it's sucking blood, and that's what, you know, most of the other blood-sucking sort of things do, like a death kiss or a vampire. But I don't want it to be 2d4 damage for every 5 feet. That seems crazy. Make it 1d4 for every 5 feet? I don't know. I'll hash it out in a sec. If anybody has any suggestions about how to balance this in 5th edition, it'd be fun to... I'm open to suggestions, is all I'm saying. Because I'm coming up dry with... I don't know exactly how to put this into... I don't want to say a publication, but like something to give out to the world, the internet. Difficult terrain. 1d4 necrotic damage for every 5 feet of movement within it. Cool. We'll call that done for bloodgrass. It is very small. I don't know why they... Oh. I just skipped a lot that I don't want to go over. Like, ooh, okay. There's a lot more to this than just damage. The tendrils that hit inject a paralyzing poison into the victim each round. Any creature caught within the bloodgrass must successfully save versus the poison, or they are ensnared and break free. A failing save paralyzes them for several rounds. After the first 2 rounds, the cumulative effect imposes a negative... So it just gets worse and worse and worse if you stay attached to this bloodgrass. Okay. This is... I did not notice the poison. It sucks your blood and puts a poison in you at the same time. And there's a risk that the tendril reaches your brain. If that happens, it wraps itself through the skull and kills in a couple of rounds. Only 1 tentacle each round is checked in this manner. What does it do with the body once it's dead? It just eats it? Characters will turn around if it hurts. Yes, absolutely. Players are smart. In most cases. They avoid pain if it is just pain and there's no bonus for it. Paralyzing poison. Constant damage if staying. Okay, I like where this is going. This is cool. Move this up to 2d4. And additional 2d4 for starting a turn in the area. Always imagine the dead body would just lay there, drained of all its blood. Its only purpose would be to serve as bait for some scavenger. Ooh, yes. Like those idiot tiny vultures we came across. The kestrel hecklers. They would just come down here, get snagged by the bloodgrass, and they would become the next victim. I like this. And to intelligent creatures, it could serve as a warning to stay away. Alright, this is why I do this live. Your guys' ideas and input is invaluable. Paralyzing poison, constant damage of staying in the area. Creatures that die this way attract carrion eaters, which become new meals for the bloodgrass. This got really cool really fast once I realized that it could paralyze you. Because if a player walks through this, like the first person just walks through the grass, and you say, okay, you take 2d4 necrotic damage, just no save, you just take it, and you have to make a Constitution saving throw just for walking through grass, and then you're paralyzed, you fall down, you're paralyzed for a round. You take another 2d4, and you make another saving throw that is more difficult. Your friends are going to have to get you out of there quick. I like this. I like this. And maybe a leveled up bloodgrass will allow things to move into the center before it starts eating away at people, so that it would be, so that everybody would be there and everybody would have to be dealing with it, and there was a long ways to get back out to the safe ground. Okay, we need to, I'm coming up with too many ideas too quickly. Yes, this will be some fun material for Patreon supporters. I'm getting excited. Okay. Additional 2d4 for starting the turn in the air. Paralyzing poison. Con save versus paralyzing poison. Constant damage is staying in the area. Well, we don't have to. +1 DC for each subsequent save. Yes. Large patches don't attack until the prey is near its center. Main problem, you would say, with running a monster is how to convey it without giving up that the whole plant monster is... yeah, without giving up that there's a plant that's trying to eat you. Description's tough. I still am not that good at it, and I've been doing this for as long as 5th edition has been around, and there are many others in the chat who have been doing it even longer than that. Description's tough. It takes practice. I do like the idea of, when I publish it, to give some tips on how to describe. I think what I would do... Ooh, this is mean. I think I'm going to just say nothing. Just suddenly ask the party for a Constitution saving throw. And then when they notice that the grass is beginning to wrap around the legs of the person that failed and collapsed, then they're going to see that, oh god, this entire field is blood-sucking grass and it's paralyzing us. We need to GTFO. So no description. Just a con save to start. The grass wraps around the collapsed creature, indicating that it is the threat. I like this. We do have several more plants that I want to get through, though, so we will call the bloodgrass good for now. Next up is the hunting cactus. I have no idea what this does. I just like the fact that there's a cactus that goes hunting. It feels like something you could make a cartoon out of. Description after the Constitution save. Yes. Don't describe anything. Just say, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw. Why? I don't know. Just do it. We'll see what happens next. And if they succeed, then you can say, maybe the grass is starting to wrap around your leg. You hadn't noticed, but there was a sharp bit of pain and you pulled away in time. Poison oak or poison ivy. No one really knows what it looks like until they get stung by it for the first time. That is so true. And nettles. Nettles. Oh, where I grew up, there were so many nettles. It's like, if you don't know, nettles are this, it's a plant that looks like any other weed. Yeah, random con saves. Random any save for no reason is fantastic. But what nettles are is they're plants that have like these, it's almost like they have fiberglass shards sticking out of their leaves, and if you rub up against it, it will get stuck in your skin and leave a rash, but there's actually physical things there. It's not like poison ivy where it's a substance, like a liquid that gets wiped off onto you. It is actual impossible to see little stickers. It is, and it was just so annoying. Falling into a patch of nettles as a kid was not fun. And yes, I always enjoy saying, I'd like you to make a dex save, just at random intervals. Inspire fear in the players. Ooh, insufficient socks with nettles. Bad combination. Easy to remember, and not in a good way. Oh, yes. I've actually heard that. Nettles are like an ingredient. They're edible when prepared correctly. But that's the thing. You gotta get rid of the hairs first. That's kind of important. Bloodgrass soup, high in protein. Love it. All right, moving on to the hunting cactus. And the first thing that I see about this beautiful creature is that it has psychic abilities. I'm a fan. So this is an omnivore, which means it does also eat people. Intelligence special, because it's a plant that has psychic abilities. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Hit dice 5+5? What does that mean? So it has 5 hit dice? I've been told that hit dice are comparable to CR in 5th edition. Hit dice in AD&D equals CR in 5e. So is this a CR5 creature? This little cactus? Okay, it's not that little. It's 3 feet tall. Smaller than a person. Most people. It has very steady morale. Okay, I think we'll do it backwards this time. I think instead of going over the psychic stuff, we'll just go straight into the description. Pale green color, 3 feet high, number of oval-shaped pods attached to the main trunk. No sensory organs, so they rely on their psionic abilities to detect prey. Can they move? Where's the movement? Movement. They do have movement. Yikes. Okay. How? They're plants. Are they stuck to the ground? Are they anchored there? Well, thanks for the advice and joining in, Fred. Really appreciate seeing your name pop up in a live stream. Try to make the thumbnails for your monster live streams slightly different to be easy to make quickly. Yes. I was a bit lazy. I decided I would be streaming today, maybe half an hour before I actually started. Have a great day, Fred. I hope you have an excellent and safe New Year's. And unimportant hero, 5 plus 5 would be 5d8 plus 5 hit points. Got it. So I'll be ignoring the plus thing. So this would be a CR5-ish creature. Interesting. What do they do in combat? Giving a monsters a plus X in their hit die calculation was a way to tip them out of their hit die tier without putting them in the next tier, since some powers only affected certain hit die tiers of monsters. Aha! That makes sense. From a game design perspective, that makes sense. From a player perspective, that seems needlessly complicated, and I'm glad they got rid of it. Having certain things affect different hit dies worth of tiers. I know 3.5 did that. I didn't like it. I just like relying on saving throws. It does. It does feel a little bit like Bulbasaur. There are a couple other cactus Pokemon. Maractus, I think, is one of them. It's been a long time. I haven't played any Pokemon game for 2 or 3 years. And before that, it had been like 5 or 6. Okay. Hunting cacti attack with multiple spines. They shoot from the pods in their body. Okay, so, gotta make a thingy for it. Ranged spine attack. Manticore? I know manticores in 5th edition shoot spines from their tails, so... There we go. God, what is wrong? There we go. Ranged spine attack. Manticore. I don't know if there's something specific about that, but yeah. Cacturn and Maractus. That's the evolution. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just porting Pokemon to 5th edition now, which, by the way, I have seen some people doing that. It works out real good. If you want to see some actual play of a Pokemon world in 5th edition, go check out Constructed Chaos's YouTube channel. I don't think he made it. His brother made a game that uses 5th edition rules to roleplay as Pokemon trainers and have battles and all that stuff. Really entertaining. Great performances by the players as well. Legends of Honato. It is in his own homebrew Pokemon region. It's been a lot of fun keeping up with it. I think they're only on episode like 5 right now, but it's been a lot of fun. Anyway, AD&D. So they shoot spines. 10 spines per round at as many as 6 different targets. Big multi-attack. Which makes sense, because they're... Wow. Okay, these things are very small and very threatening. Multi-attack 6? Because it says 6 targets. Poisoned, obviously. Small sack of nerve poison in the tip. Any creature hit by a spine must successfully save or be paralyzed. So, more paralyzing poison. I know Grells have a paralyzing poison that I really like, so... Grell paralyzing poison in every single one of those needles. Let's see. I do like a limited number of attacks. So it doesn't just regrow spines immediately. It has ammunition, so to say. So 11 to 30 pods on its body, and each pod has 10 spines. And each spine, as many as 10 spines can be fired per round. So that's 11 to 30 rounds. Okay, maybe keeping track of that would be useless, because 10 rounds is a minute. And I have gone through only one combat that lasted more than 10 rounds, and that one combat lasted several sessions. Don't recommend it. It was not that fun. So I think we'll put a question mark by it, because it seems very powerful to be able to have multi-attack 6 at a range. Limited ammunition, question mark, call it good. Any hit from an edged weapon severs a feeding spine. Wait, I'm skipping something. So each spine that gets thrown at an enemy, if it hits, that spine hits it again with a feeding spine into the motionless victim, right? Oh, no. It detects a paralyzed victim and then moves into melee with it and then attacks with a feeding spine. Okay. Which drains hit points. More blood-sucking plants. Love it. So, let's put up... Once a target is paralyzed, the cactus moves into melee to attack with a feeding spine. And the feeding spine heals the cactus with each hit. I like it. I mean, whoever wrote this might have been high or something, but I like the result. These are some crazy, crazy ideas. Oh! I told you it's been a long time. Cacturn is a hunting cactus Pokemon. Maractus is standing alone. Cacturn evolves from Cacna. Okay, Maractus has no evolution. It's just a separate cactus Pokemon. They have so many. They need to branch out more somehow. But I have opinions about the new Pokemon game that I won't get into here because they're boring and uninformed. Let's see. Hunting cacti generally kill one member of a party, herd, or flock and leave the rest. Once they have a food source, they continue to battle only if any remaining creatures press the attack or try to steal their food. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Normally found alone or in pairs. Okay, yeah. I think this is enough. I don't think we need to... Oh, wait. I completely forgot. They have psionics. How could we forget that? How could I forget that? Okay. Telepathy. Ultra Blast. That seems like it came out of a children's cartoon. Ultra Blast, attack, move. Devotions, contact, aversion, life detection, mind thrust. Okay, it only uses psionics to sense its surroundings, is what it looks like. And maybe inflict some pain. I think we can skip the actual inflicting pain and say that it has a ridiculous blind sight. Maybe not ridiculous. Its range is only 30 feet on the ranged attack. So let's just give it blind sight and call it good. Because I don't want to give it detect thoughts. Since it's a desert. It's going to be out in the open, probably. Not necessarily like attached to maybe some rock formations or something. But I think blind sight is enough to cover the psionics. And I don't want to make it too complicated. So, blind sight 30 feet and call it good. And moving on to our next plant, blood-sucking whatever. And this is a rock cactus. That looks like some eggs of an eldritch being. That's kind of terrifying. Let's see. Any terrain except forest, uncommon, carnivore, non-intelligent. It's a plant. Number appearing, 1 to 10. Movement special, hit dice 2. Okay. So, pretty weaker creature. Tiny, 1 foot ball. Rock cacti are small spherical plants that can be found anywhere where water is not plentiful. They are generally brown in color but deepen to black as they increase their fluid storage. During spring and summer, rock cacti produce a bright yellow flower that lasts only a few hours. The rest of the time, the rock cacti appear to be roughly spherical rocks, 1 foot in diameter. So plants that are disguising themselves as rocks. Okay. I mean, you're already a plant. You're already going to get ignored. Unless, like, an herbivore approaches. The preferred method of attack for rock cactus is to wait until the prey is within a few feet and then quickly extend 2 to 5 spines. Each spine that hits inflicts 1 to 3 points of damage. Has an extended crit range. Let's see. Oh, wow. This thing is extremely weak. It only heals if it crits. Extra sneak attack stuff. Maybe some sneak attack damage. Yeah, because it is indistinguishable from a rock. Indistinguishable from a rock, no movement. Lithops? Lithops? What is that? I'm not familiar with those letters put together in that order. Sneak attack bonuses? I don't know. Because I don't want to give it extra damage because it's supposed to be only CR2. And it already has advantage to hit. There's some things that get special surprise round stuff. Let's see if I can pull one of those up. surprised monsters. Don't know what this is, but... Oh, the classic assassinate. Any hit it scores against a surprised creature is a crit. Okay. Yeah, we can just add that. That'll work. Lithop is a type of succulent plant in real life that resembles the weird little rocks. Some people love them, others find them creepy. Interesting. I'll look that up real quick over on a different screen. Oh, weird. They look like butts or brains. It's cool. I'm learning so much right now, and not just about Harry Potter. We watched Harry Potter last night, the second one. That's why I said that. I promise. Learning about the real world and about D&D. It's cool. Sneak attack bonuses. This is going to have assassinate. Auto crit versus a creature that hasn't taken a turn yet. On a crit, we'll give it temporary hit points instead of healing on a crit, because if it crits on the first turn and heals, it does nothing because it's already at max hit points. So we'll just give it some temporary hit points. Temp HP equal to half the damage dealt. Like I said, we're not doing numbers yet because making the balancing calculations is a mess and uninteresting. This is the fun part. This is the part I want to stream. That is if they are surprised. So it's the assassinate for the assassin rogues, essentially. If you look at game rules, rogue, assassinate. Starting at 3rd level, you are at your deadliest when you get the drop on your enemies. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is a surprised creature is a critical hit. All right, you were right, Jordan. I was wrong. I think we might make it auto crit in this case. They'll probably be both surprised and haven't taken a turn yet, but I don't know. I kind of want this to get around the this creature cannot be surprised attribute that some things have, like certain constructs will have cannot be surprised, always knows when there's danger, stuff like that. So instead of auto crit versus a creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat. So it could auto crit twice that way. That's why that would be broken. Well, let's change it to surprise creature. I might change it back later. We'll play test this in one of the place testing one-shots that I run. See how it goes. Or I just might play test it in my home game. I do that too sometimes for minor stuff like this. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. They can be harvested. 1 in 500 rock cacti is a blood-sucking plant. I thought all of them were. Oh, it just drains 1 hit point of moisture. Okay. Which is not blood-sucking somehow? Alright. Each tendril that absorbs 1 hit point of blood. Da, 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 da. Maximum capacity of 100 hit points. Wow. That's a lot. Spines that break off inside a victim work their way slowly through the victim's body until they strike a vital organ and cause an agonizing death. How pleasant. These spines may be removed by a cure disease spell or by quickly cutting the spine out. I think we'll just make that a plain old disease. Sort of like death dogs. Let's look up death dogs real quick so we can just copy paste it. So, with death dogs, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC 12 con save or become poisoned and diseased. Every 24 hours that elapse, the creature must repeat the save, reducing its hit point maximum by 5 on a failure. Yikes. I like this. I will just copy paste this into the document. Or just say death dog disease. Might make some changes to make it more interesting than, just copy and pasting what already exists. But I think since there's a precedent for it, we can just copy paste that. Nothing we decide today is final. All right. Moving on to the... That is the rock cactus. There's got to be more plants, though, right? Table of contents. I was thinking zombie. Wraith. Phasian Wraith. Ari Tarek. Slig. Thought there was another plant in here, but I'm not seeing it. Just bloodgrass, hunting cactus, and rock cactus. I am interested to figure out what a slig is, though, because that sounds funny. Slig, slig, slig. No art. Oh, that's... Yeah, never mind, there's some art. Oh, yikes. That is something straight out of a nightmare. Okay, what are they, though? Organization Warband. Alright. Human intelligence. Number appearing, 5 to 30. This is... Ooh. This will be a lot of work. Because they're organized. I'll just go over the description real quick after a drink of water. Sligs are wide-jawed humanoids of the desert wilderness. Male sligs are tall and muscular, standing 7 feet tall and weighing more than 300 pounds. Their skin color varies from a sickly white to tan and deep brown. Long red or auburn hair grows on the back of their heads, forearms, and thighs, and sometimes on the back and rump as well. This hair is sometimes braided, but more often left long. They have no ability to store fat in their bodies, so are especially lean in appearance. They seldom stand to their full height, instead adopting a hunched posture that allows their arms to assist in locomotion. Their arms and legs are extremely powerful. Their hands have a thumb and 3 very long fingers, each tipped with blunt black claws. Their heads are tapered at the top, giving way to an extremely wide, but not protruding, jaw. Their teeth are nasty, broken, and yellow, and are always displayed in a maniacal grin. Ugh. Their eyes vary in color from black to silver beneath thick, almost reptilian ridges. Females are similar in appearance, but much smaller. Hair is always braided. Skin is lighter. They all wear clothing made from animal skins. Okay. What makes them special? Fred, you're back. How was your nap? Individually impressive, but not invincible. What makes them particularly formidable is their ability to attack in concert with one another, seeking out new prey and interesting ways to corner and kill them. Those appearing in any encounter are in a war band of males. Females are young and found only in the lair. Okay. So, they seem like these tribal humanoids, almost. It does say that they are carnivores. But they don't have anything that, you know, distinguishes them from just regular humanoids, other than aesthetics, obviously. I mean, it's freaking terrifying. But they don't have anything that really sets them apart. There's no psionics, there's no spellcasting, there's no strange abilities to shoot spines out of their chest or something. Maybe some regeneration, maybe? I don't know. I think we might skip this. As far as stat blocks go, which is why we're doing this, I feel like its stat block would be boring. It'd just be a bandit, straight up. The interesting thing with these creatures comes in how the DM runs them, not what the stat block looks like. Ooh, alchemists have noted the pseudopsionic nature of the slig telepathy and seek specimens with which to experiment. Yikes. Oh, that's dark. Yeah, okay. I think we'll skip this one. I mean, yes, the art is gorgeous and horrifying, and the aesthetic that they put on is great, but there's nothing that sets them apart and no reason to actually write a stat block for them. You could just use bandits and call it good. So we're going to move on to another one at random. How about a Tarek? What is a Tarek? Oh, it's another humanoid. It looks like an orc, and I'm bored already. Do they have anything cool or interesting? I feel like sligs are Dark Sun's orcs, same niche orcs had in AD&D. Aggressive, violent, organized, humanoid mooks. Yep. Not worth the effort for a special 5e stat block. Okay, Tareks seem like they might be a little more interesting. Clairsentience, True Sight, Combat Mind, Martial Trance, Psionic Sense. So I feel like everything has Mind Thrust and Psychic Crush, which makes it boring. This is more interesting though, because these look like another humanoid. You know, high intelligence, 13 to 14. So definitely societal. Hit dice of 2, so another just random humanoid that happens to be smart. They are big, muscle-bound, and hairless bipeds that inhabit the hilly mountains of Athis. They have square, big-browed heads, just a visual description, which we can get from this lovely piece of art. They speak their own language, as well as the common language. Combat. Violent and aggressive. Honor. It's starting to sound like Klingons. No armor. This would be a race. I don't know if it would be a playable race, but it is literally just humans, or humanoids, with natural true sight, which is nuts. Combat mind, martial trance, which I assume could be translated into like the barbarian danger sense or something similar to that. They also have some telepathy. They can also turn themselves invisible, like a furbolg. I don't think it's worth a stat block because, I don't know. I want to look at monsters. I don't want to look at humans. Monsters are just more interesting to me. Like, if I have the chance, I will make my big bad of a campaign a monster instead of a, you know, spellcaster. Fight past death defense? You mean the barbarian thing? Or did you see that somewhere in here? Because I know that zealot barbarians have that ability as well. They drop to 0 hit points, but they don't go unconscious. Yes, here it is. The ability to battle beyond the point when other creatures would succumb to wounds and other injuries. Even when dealt a fatal blow, Tarks continue to fight after death. In game terms, Tarks can continue to attack until they are reduced to negative 10 hit points. Cool. Special defenses. Fight past death. Yeah, so Zealot Barbarian or Undead Constitution would be a good thing to attribute to these. Definitely not a playable race then. Because, like, you should not be able to have something that powerful as a player, I don't think. At least not until higher levels. Definitely not as a racial feature. I don't know. I'm not inspired. They are, I'll give it to them. They're cool. They have psychic abilities like most of the stuff in Dark Sun, and this fight past death thing is pretty awesome. But it doesn't make me excited, not like the bear did. And even if I do take notes on it now, I won't be making it into a stat block. The point of why I do this sort of thing is because it's fun, right? This one just feels like it wouldn't be that fun. Ooh. Let's look at this one. The spine worm. Let's see. Uncommon, solitary, carnivore, low intelligence, some psychic abilities, not many. Looks like it's all shadow form, chameleon power, displacement, ectoplasmic form. Sounds like it's all for stealth. Whoa, they're big, 30 feet long. Okay. And hit dice, 8. So very tough. They seem simple at a glance. Very big, silent stalkers. Or ambushers of some sort. closely related to the silkworm and kills its victims by constriction. Ooh. Ooh, just looking at the art. Yikes. Yeah, that's a lot of stab wounds. It is chitinous shell, and the hard shell makes it very difficult to damage these creatures. So high AC. Yeah. Let's put it down a entry for this. High AC. Bony plates run from its head to its tail. In addition to the shell, rows of cruel spikes adorn the plates. These spines impale a victim caught by the vice-like grip of a spineworm's constriction. Though these serpents have no wings, they can fly because of a special organ unique to the worms of Athos. So, levitate? This is like the Neothelid, the Mind Flayer tadpole grown too big. They're basically purple worms that levitate. This feels like the same thing. Should we give it the fly spell? Should we give it a fly speed? Or should we give it a levitate spell? Or we could just say an ability. It can float 10 feet off the ground. Like a fly speed limited. Or something like that. Don't know. No wings, but can fly. Hover maybe too? Combat. Flies over the tablelands in search of prey. Oh, so definitely higher than levitate. Because if it's flying like... It flies like an eagle. Fly like an eagle above the tablelands to search for things to kill. Because the spineworm swallows its food whole, it often takes a great deal of time for digestion to be complete, particularly with large quarry. 12 hours for it to be digested enough for it to move again. Interesting. Not sure how that'll be put into a stat block, though. I don't know, it feels boring. When a spineworm spots a likely candidate for its next meal, it favors using its ectoplasmic form and chameleon power to blend in with the background. So it just turns invisible. Why not just give it invisibility? That'd be easier and scarier. All about detection. Attack roll. Okay, so its attack will be a constriction. I think that's all it gets, right? Constriction. The victim must make a save versus death magic every round of after the third in the spineworm's grip. Interesting. And it can shoot its spines. If it loses 3/4 of its hit point, it releases prey and shoots some of its spines at its opponents. Interesting. Okay, so it's got a ranged attack and it's got a melee attack. Let's start writing this down. Constrict, impale victims. We've been seeing a lot of things that shoot spines in this this stream. Not just the hunting cactus. There was something earlier too, and now this spineworm can shoot its spines. It shoots spines when it's in trouble. No worries, Zerker Zero. Psionics are just a type of innate magics. Yes, I agree. And that is how 5th edition is treating them. And, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 5th edition not having specific rules set aside for psionics, other than spellcasting that already exists. Alright. Yeah. I think that's actually enough. This is a pretty simple creature, but it's cool. Anything that is like 30 feet long and can turn invisible is scary enough to be interesting. That was a quick one. Very short. I think we'll do one more before calling it quits for tonight. Or this afternoon. Depends on where you are in the world. What should we do? We've done the fail. This was a very interesting one. So the fail is a undead. It is someone that was extremely greedy and gluttonous, raised up in undeath. And what they do is they sneak into parties and feasts, and they're just these big... They look like people. They appear in every way to be people. I even gave them an ability that prevents the undead magic that suffuses them from being detected by Detect Magic, by the Paladin's Divine Sense. That just makes them very, very good at infiltrating these feasts where they can get this food. Once they get there, they just devour it constantly. Devour, eat, vomit it up, continue eating. Like a classic symbol of gluttony. That's essentially what it is. It's pretty simple. I ran it in not a playtest, in an actual campaign that I'm running for some friends from college, and they liked it. It was a feast for a wedding outdoors, and they had to fight this fail to prevent it from hurting anyone else, because getting in between it and food causes damage. It reacts violently. It does have some crazy, jaw dislocating abilities. Again, classic of a gluttonous demon or something. But it was fun. And it is available for free on my Patreon, and I believe also in the community tab on my YouTube page. There should be an image there for it. Oh no, chat disconnected, successfully reconnected. Well, that's good. That was concerning. Glad you guys are back. But we should... I just want to take a quick look at what these elemental beasts are. Because I want to know what the difference between, an elemental and an elemental beast is. So... let's just read through this real quick. The elemental beast is a creature of low intelligence that is native to one of the 4 elemental planes. The physical form of the elemental beast is composed of one of the 4 elements. The beast is composed of only the purest elemental material, and there is no substance within it other than its native element. Sounds like an elemental so far. I think it just is. Just an elemental. And that's it. Yeah, I don't think they're interesting enough to get their own stat block, so we'll keep looking around for something that is. These drakes look pretty cool. They are para-elemental stuff. If you guys see something that you do want, I'll just keep clicking through it. And if you see some art that you really want me to go over, throw it in the chat, and first come, first serve. We'll do some art-based picking. Let's see, we already did a bloodgrass. This thing. Dune Reaper. I think we did that one already. And it ended up actually being kind of... Looks terrifying, but doesn't have anything that special about it. Phalar. Girion vibes. Gorillan. I don't know how to pronounce that in 5th edition. The four-armed albino gorilla. This was fun. This creature was fun. It's basically a giant armadillo that is terrified of everything. And it has very, very good ambushing abilities when it needs to go get food. Gorak. This looks like an actual dinosaur, just with distended and long claws. No psychic abilities, though. Halfling, human, Jakar. This one we already did as well. It's basically a dinosaur dog with a grappling bite. Attacks in packs. That stat block can also be found on my socials and my Patreon. Ooh, that looks fun. Chat is being quiet, so I think we're gonna go with this thing. Another undead. Ooh. I think this is a... That's an NPC that we're looking at. A villain. 2 of them, actually. Kaisharga. A Kaisharga. Okay. Undead, very powerful, psychic abilities. That's what I know about it so far. Let's dive in. Last one for the day. Intelligence. Exceptional. 15 to 16 or better. So, lich size intelligence. Big brain plays over here. Special attacks, special defenses, see below, see below. 6 feet tall, so humanoid. 2 arms, 2 legs. Movement 12, hit dice. Minimum of 10. Love it. Okay, there's a lot of abilities it has. This is going to be another deep dive like the Miordi was. Another undead filling up or guarding a tomb. Let's dive into the description. The Kaisharga are a class of Athasian undead, similar to the liches of other worlds. They have sought undeath, unnaturally extending their lives past the endurance of their mortal frames. Unlife gives them many terrible powers. Kaisharga appear as gaunt, wasty humans with grayish, thinly stretched skin. They wear the trappings they preferred in life, and their eyes burn with a green fire. Combat. The change to undeath raises the Kaisharga's effective strength, dex, and con scores to 20. Kaisharga gain +5 hit points per hit die. Psionic abilities listed above as if they were formerly wild talents. Not sure what that means. So this is literally just a psychic lich, as far as I can tell, which is dope. They are immune to charm, sleep, enfeeblement, polymorph, cold, electricity, insanity, and death spells. That's a long list of immunities. That's nuts. They can only be struck by +1 magical weapons or by creatures of 6 hit dice or more. I see what you said, unimportant hero. Or I should just call you important hero. There does appear to be, can only be struck by creatures of 6 hit dice or more. They're using hit dice to work into abilities. Characters of 8th level or 8 hit dice are immune to this aura of fear. Stuff like that. Okay. Let's make an entry for this thing. Why is it interesting? Is it just a psychic glitch, or is there something else? Like, the Miordi was cool because it enforces ancient dead laws, and that is its purpose. This appears to be just a lich, which pretty much already exists. I don't know if I'll make the stat block for it, but I do want to at least look through this. Give it a chance. Okay. Kaisharga. First up. We'll just put Psychic Liches. Looks like they have a Fear Aura. A Cold Touch Attack. They've also got... oh, a Cold Touch Attack that paralyzes. What else? They have magical items. They wield magical items. That is called out in this description. That is a very rare thing in 5th edition. There are not a lot of stat blocks that actually say they have magical items and we'll be able to loot them afterwards. Sure, Jordan, I'm here for you. You need to rename the homebrew class, the Mage Slayer that you were working on yesterday on stream, into something that is broader, one word, and isn't the same name as a feat. Debating between Seeker, Spellstalker, Spellseeker, Inquisitor, and Templar. Of those, my favorite is Inquisitor. Just because there are Inquisitors in other universes already that are, you know, these juggernauts of anti-magic, essentially. Or in Star Wars, they are Jedi hunters. That's just their thing. An Inquisitor is someone who hunts someone with, like, groups of people with a specific power. So that's my favorite one so far. I don't know about Spellstalker or Spellseeker, just because those are two... you said one word, so those are 2 words just slammed together. But so I don't like those. But of the other 3, Seeker, Inquisitor, and Templar, Inquisitor is probably my favorite. I don't think they would be good against fighting these things, because this is all psychic, though. Let's see. So, Paralyzing Cold Touch. Yeah, no problem, Jordan. Always open for giving you some advice. Magical items. That's right. Warriors usually have magical items and armor. Wizards have rings and wands. Okay. Love this. Each one has to be... we could make this a template instead of a stat block. I'd have to figure out how to do that. I've seen it done. It's difficult to put together a good template. But they will have 3 magic items, 3 attuned magic items. Three attuned magic items, varying from Kaisharga to Kaisharga. Templates are fun. They don't really exist in official content, though. plenty of great third-party products that provide templates for like making something undead, making something a dragon, making something an elemental, stuff like that. And I've used them. They're fun. I think a template might be the way to go here, or a sort of build your own monster, because it's this 3 attuned magic items ability that is making it difficult to just write a stat block for it, because magic items in the hands of anyone it changes everything about how they fight. Like if you have the Great Weapon Master feat, right? And you get your hands on a magical dagger, that's going to change how you fight. You're never going to use that feat again if the dagger is like a luck blade or something. Like the one thing is clearly much more powerful than the other. So I want these attuned items to be part of whoever's looking at this. I want them to build this. I want it to be easy for them to pick 3 magic items, throw them into this, and have it work. That's just a dream that I came up with right now. I don't know if it's going to be how difficult it's going to be, or if it's going to be even possible. Maybe their holding of it makes them magical. Ooh, like a warlock weapon or eldritch knight. Okay. So when it's looted, it becomes mundane. Just because there's 3 items here, I think that's not a bad idea. Normally, I would say, like, if someone is using Boots of Flying against someone else, like, if you're fighting a monster that has Boots of Flying, yes, those Boots of Flying that it was using against you are going to be part of that loot. That's part of, like, the epic reward. Like, you've seen them in action. Players are usually going to want to take them and use them on their own. But 3 items is a bit much. That's like a full level up for the party in some cases. So I do like that. I'm going to put that down. Or maybe they get to choose one. I'll just put that as a note. I have no idea if it's going to be worth it or work at all. Or they choose one and the other 2 TWO items become mundane. All right. And then most of the actual stat block, like from here onwards, is just stat blocks for individual Kaisharga that have... Right. There's not enough energy to keep all of them charged after attunement. There's only enough energy as the creature dies, and the players have to siphon it into one of the weapons if they want to keep it. They can't have all 3. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I was going for. But from here on out, it is like Jargmal was a great hero of ages past, while he was a great priest. These are all NPCs. These are all villains. This is a very short description of what the Kaisharga are. So this would be an example of a fully formed NPC that used this template that we're going to put together. This right here, though, is most of the abilities. Let's... We'll look through this. I'll do a more in-depth description once I find out what all these words actually mean and what the abilities are. But for now, we'll just look through it and vomit words onto the page. So what 5th edition things come to mind when you hear clairsentience, detection, psionic sense, spirit sense? This one, spirit sense, makes me think can see into the ethereal plane. Maybe true sight? Psychokinetic, telekinesis, control body, control wind, levitation, soften. Well, levitation's easy. There's a levitate spell. There's also a control wind-ish spell, like wind wall or investiture of wind. What else? Teleport. Classic. Dimensional door. Dimension walk. Time/space anchor. Ooh. Dimension door plus dimensional lock. Okay. Instead of giving it teleport and dimension door, we'll just give it dimension door. Several uses. Let's make it 5 per day. It needs to be able to do it. And it is an action, so it wouldn't be able to do anything else if it uses its dimension door teleport. There is something really cool that I've never used. And that is the Canoloth. That's the legacy one. Here's the new one. Here it is. This creature right here has an ability called Dimensional Lock. Other creatures can't teleport to or from a space within 60 feet of the Canoloth. Any attempt to do so is wasted. So, if this thing stood next to a teleportation circle, nothing would be able to arrive there. Nothing would be able to leave via that circle. Nobody can cast Misty Step. No other Yugoloths, which this is Yugoloth, no other Yugoloths can teleport around the Canoloth. And they all can teleport. That's one of their like staple abilities. But I like that dimensional lock idea, and I want to give it to this guy. Dimensional lock, 60 feet. What else? The teleport, dimensional door, dimensional walk, time-space anchor. Alright, now this is the long list. Domination, ejection. This is all telepathic abilities. Domination, ejection, mind link, psionic blast. Mind Flayer, Psionic Blast? Anyone? What else? Domination. So this is a situation in which Dominate Person would actually work. We didn't give it to some earlier, but in this case, I think it would be perfect. Alright. Awe. Telepathic awe. This makes me think of Hypnotic Pattern. When it's the spell that creates an area and any creature inside the area just kind of like looks up dazed at the pretty colors. So I think we'll give it Hypnotic Pattern. Though that is a concentration spell, so it won't be useful in most situations. Ego Whip. Contact. Conceal thoughts. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Obvi. Mind blank. Right there. Id Insinuation. Identify Penetration? That's... I need to look up what that is. Mind Thrust ESP. Telekinetic Shove. That's a 5th edition thing. And this thing's strong enough where I'd feel safe saying saving throw, shove 10 feet, bonus action. I think that's... I want to say the telekinetic shove feat from the telekinesis feat is a bonus action, isn't it? Now I want to look it up. It's going to bother me. Let's see. As a bonus action, you can telekinetically shove one creature within 30 feet of you. Yeah. So that's not unheard of. Life detection. Detect thoughts. Detect magic. Send thoughts. Let's make all those telepathy and give it a detect thoughts as well. So in summation, this Kai Sharga is a psychic lich. It has a fear aura. It has a cold touch attack that can paralyze targets. They all have a large amount of psychic abilities, including True Sight, Levitate, Wind Wall, Dimension Door, Dominate Person, Hypnotic Pattern, Mind Blank, Detect Thoughts, the Dimensional Lock ability that prevents teleporting, the Mind Flayer's Psionic Blast, the Telekinetic Shove from the Telekinesis feat, and Telepathy. On top of all of that, they have 3 attuned magic items. And when they die, their life energy goes into one of them. I don't know if that one should be chosen by the players or the DM. I'm kind of leaning towards the DM. But we'll hash that out in the actual playtest probably. Again, this one is another one I will definitely playtest. I think the next one I'll do is the Clar though. Like this bear, I'm so excited. I'm very hyped to throw a psychic dire bear at people. If you want in on that, if you want to be one of the people that plays in one of those playtests where I'm hashing out exactly how to balance the stat block, how to make the encounter with the Clar fun, all that stuff, head on over to my Discord. The link to the server is in the description of the live chat. Would be great to see a couple new people in there. I love the community that has enjoyed my content and joined that server. Everyone is super chill. There's a lot of homebrewing going on. There's a lot of just chatting, hanging out. But playtesting is something that a lot of them are into, and I hope you are too. So with that, I will close out today's New Year's Eve stream. Yes, Kyle was a part of it. Playtests are a blast. Do it. It's a good time. Closing out the New Year's Eve stream. I hope all of you have a safe and happy and fun New Year's Eve tonight, and a happy and healthy 2023. And always remember, everything is going to be okay. Thanks for joining, everybody.